Hello and good morning and welcome to my channel, Willet's World. I'm currently standing in Chiang Mai in northern Thailand, and I'm right outside the old town. This is the Phae Gate, the main eastern gate into the old town, and I thought I'd make some videos about Chiang Mai and the north of Thailand and other parts of Thailand for you to see, because Thailand now is meant to be opening up to international tourists. Excuse the noise, the noisy motorbike behind me. It is early in the morning, and yeah, I just thought I'd make some videos and highlight what there is to see here in Chiang Mai and the surrounding area as well. But first, let me explain a little bit of history of Chiang Mai on voiceover. And that history starts in the 13th century, as back then huge sweeping changes over the political landscape of Asia were happening, sparked on in no small part by the rapid expansion of Genghis Khan and his Mongol Empire. By the second half of the 13th century, the Mongols had swept through China and were a threat to the long-standing regional powers in Southeast Asia, particularly due to the weakened Khmer Empire in Cambodia. One indirect result of this was the migration of the Tay people out of southern China and into today's modern Thailand. King Mangrai was born in 1238 in today's Chiang Saen, which is located in the far north of Thailand on the banks of the Mekong River. He was born to a local ruler, while his mother was a princess from today's Ying Hong, which is located in the far south of Yunnan province in China. His maternal grandfather was king there, and after taking the throne in 1259, he began a decades-long crusade to expand and fortify his kingdom. This resulted in the founding of several cities, such as Chiang Mai in 1262 and Phung in 1272. He then set his sights on the Pung River Valley, and in particular Hariponchai, which is today's Lamphun. Following his conquest of Lamphun in 1281, Mangrai decided to live there for a few years, before opting to establish the capital of his new Lanna kingdom at Wiang Kaew, 5 to 6 kilometers south of Chiang Mai, in 1286. However, in around 1296, he had to move his capital to Chiang Mai, as Wiang Kaew kept flooding due to its proximity to the Pung River. So that's the history about Chiang Mai. Let me now explain to you Phae Gate. What you actually see today is actually a 1980s recreation. It never looked like this back in the day. And they built this square here, as you can see behind me. It's all set up for one of our festivals called Loi Krathong. But Phae means floating house, and the reason for that is that the gate connects with from the old town to the river Pung. So obviously they brought goods and services up the river, and then they came in with those into the old town. So let's now go into the old town and explore, but first we'll go around the old town walls and see some of the gates and some of the bastions. So I'm standing right outside the first gate on the southern side of the moat. This is Chiang Mai Gate, aptly named. There's currently 5 remaining gates. There used to be 6. But most of what you see now was reconstructed back in the 60s. Excuse me. And as I say, King Mangrai, when he built Chiang Mai, enlisted some 40,000 men to build the walls and the moat, and then another 50,000 to build the palaces and stables and other features inside the old town. So most of the gates you see today are reconstructed. They never really look like this. And a lot of gates have these little niches with an inscription stone. I think it says sort of when the gate was built and such like. So this is the western gate of the moat of the old town, and it's called Suan Dok Gate. And Suan Dok means flower garden, and the reason for that is just down there used to be the royal residence, or one of the royal residencies from back in the day, which had a royal garden. So the royal family used to come out the gate here and go straight down the westerns of this western road, which is called Satep Road. I'll be making another video all about the west side of the old town, which you can watch once I've made it. So we're now inside the old town, going to explore here, and the first place we're visiting is this temple called Wat Chiang Man, and it's Chiang Mai's oldest temple. It was built by Mengrai in 1297. Well, it goes back to 1297. Quite a lot of it, as you can see, is quite modern. So I don't know if you can make it out there in the picture, but that's a stone stele, an inscription stone. And on it, it records the actual founding of the city. And it's meant to be founded on the 12th of April, 1296, which is a very precise date. But then get this, it also includes the time, which was at 4 AM. So this temple's called Wat Lamchang, which means Temple of the Tethered Elephant, as they used to keep elephants here. They used to feed them and house them here for the royal family. And parts of it date back to the 14th century, like this gateway here. Excuse all the rubble which is in the way. So we're in Three Kings Square, so called because of this statue. In the middle is King Mengrai, and I've forgotten who the other two are, but I'll put them up on the screen. I think one on the left is from Piao, and maybe the other one's from Lampang, but I can't remember. But I'll put their names up. But this square is normally the scene for sort of festivities, and they do flower shows, but they also have the odd political demonstration here and that kind of thing. But there's a few museums here which we might check out. But as you can see, they've got the lanterns up for Loi Krathong. I think they're pretty much all over the city at the moment. Makes it a bit more interesting. So this is the Lanna Folklore Museum. It's actually a former palace. You can see the royal insignia on the front here. And then I think in 1935 it became a courthouse. But unfortunately it's closed. I don't really know why, so we can't obviously look around. So this is the Chiang Mai City Arts and Cultural Museum, which is open. The other museum that I tried to get into, the Folklore Museum, that's actually closed for renovations at the moment. Word of advice, if you live here, even in Chiang Mai or Thailand maybe, you get a discount. I showed my Thai driving license and got in for 20 baht instead of paying 90 baht. So that was good. So they've got a model of the old town here. And this is where we started. Well, this is where we started. This is Phae Gate. It looks like it used to have a lot more gates. And that's Wat Chiang Man. And we're currently here Three Kings Square. And we're going to visit these other temples. That's Wat Luang, and that's Wat Prasing. So right next door to the museums is this lovely temple, and part of it dates back to the 15th century, and it used to house the city pillar, which was like a city symbol that the locals worship. That's now in Wat Luang, I believe. We'll see that later on in this video, or probably the next video actually, part 2. Stand by for part 2. So just down the road from Three Kings Square is this, which doesn't look very much, but this is actually the site of the royal residence in Chiang Mai, in the old town. So King Mengrai would have stayed here, and it's called Wiang Kaew. But it was all pulled down towards the back end of the 19th century and turned into a prison. The whole site was turned into a prison in 1902. And then it became a women's prison, correctional prison, until 2013. But they've done some digs here, some archaeological digs, and they found walls of the original palace. But fortunately, you can't go around the area, as you can see behind me. It's all boarded up. But yeah, that's the former site of the palace. And they still kept one of the corner turrets and part of the wall of the prison here. And I think the original entrance building, which is that one there. And that's where I'm going to leave off this video for now. If you like it, then give me a big thumbs up, and why not subscribe to my channel down below. Until the next video, see you later.